everyone. It is a rambling hour with Lisa live from my cozy bed. It's funny how the bed looks so small when I put all these pillows here. I brought some of the pillows from the living room so it would be like more of the autumn scene, and I brought this guy. He's actually from a store here that has a story about a carrot, and this is a pilot turkey for Christmas dinner, but when Thomas saw him, he brought him home for me because he knows that I decorate with turkeys for Thanksgiving and for autumn, so he'll be my buddy for today. And I don't know if he has it just says turkey on top, so that's his name. Yeah, so I am not feeling well. It's not COVID. It's just a bit of like, I don't know, something in my throat. And so I have, I was going to have hot tea, but I didn't have time. So I got a little squirrel mug that I was going to have hot tea in, but I just put pop in it. So, in case I get parched. Yeah, so I thought, I've already done my workout, and because I'm not feeling 100%, I just want to be in bed, so this way I can just lie down and chill after I'm done my live. I think I'm going to sneeze. Hang on a second. Bless me. I don't know if you're supposed to say it for yourself, but okay. So let's talk about the week. Last Sunday we went to, I talked about last Sunday because I did my live after we went out to see Steve's auntie and uncle for his uncle's birthday. And what else did I do during the week? So, Thursday was Aurora's 16th birthday. So that is not our youngest, but our second youngest. So Erica's 13, Erica turned 13 in July, and Aurora just turned 16. And Allison will be 18 in January, and Thomas will be 20 in a few days. So it was Aurora's birthday. We had Chinese food for supper. That was really awesome. And we've been eating leftovers for a few days. Yeah, you know what? My brain has totally just farted. The reason I'm late is actually I've been ready and sitting here, but Steve didn't realize I was going to be doing my live from up here. So he was playing, what's the game called? Fortnite, maybe? Fortnite. He was playing Xbox with the kids. And yeah, so he was sitting here. He obviously didn't want to be on. So, yeah, I've been reading. I finished my book that I wanted to finish earlier, and I've started another one, and I'll be done reading it tonight. I wanted to finish reading it this morning, and I was reading this morning when I woke up. I lied in bed and I was reading it, and then I fell back asleep. So I didn't finish my book this morning, but if I read it when I'm done my live, then I should be done this evening. And the builder came today to look at the bathroom and some things that he has to work on. We're getting new oak doors. I told you guys that, and I couldn't remember if they were oak or not, and they are. They're solid oak doors, and they're heavy. But they were supposed to be, finished before we got them, so that we didn't have to put any kind of finishing on them after they're hung. So, I don't know what it is, some kind of lacquer or varnish or some kind of finish anyways, and they came and they're not finished. So now, even though we've had to wait a couple months for the doors, our builder is sending them back, and they need to put the finishing coat or whatever on them so that we can get them back and hang them, but he has to do new door frames and everything for them. But it was exciting that, so even though we have to wait for the doors longer, he is going to work on some other stuff, like I said, including the bathroom downstairs and some other things that we have done. So anytime the home renovations move ahead even a little bit, I get very excited, but I get disappointed when they don't, because it feels like it's going to take forever. So I won't get my hopes up yet, but he was here today, so that's better than nothing. Okay, so the books that I finished, this is the one that I finished. It's quite an old book that I got like when I was a young, I don't even know if I was an adult when I first got this book. And it's really bright, so I don't know where to put it. I showed you guys it before. It's called Zen Flesh, Zen Bones. And it is a book about Zen. So I really enjoyed that. There was a part in it that explained Zen, and I thought about telling you guys what Zen meant when it had that actually, give me 1 second. Nope, hang on, the Catless Gate. It might be in the last part, right here. So I think this might be the part, but I'm not sure, but I'll just read this anyways. It says, the enlightenment for which Zen aims, for which Zen exists, comes of itself. As consciousness, one moment it does not exist, the next it does. But physical man walks in the element of time, even as he walks in mud, dragging his feet and his true nature. So even Zen must compromise, and recognize progressive steps of awareness, leading closer to the ever instant of enlightenment. And then it talks about what this third book, because this book is one book, but it's 3 ancient books put together. The 10 Bulls, Pure Zen, deeper than earlier versions. Reproduce modern versions, woodblock artist. I'm trying to see if it says the year that this third book is, that it was first introduced. Oh yeah, 10 Bulls was first published in 1935. Oh yeah, but it is translation from Chinese of a famous 12th century commentary upon the stages of awareness leading to enlightenment, and is here illustrated by one of Japan's best contemporary woodblock artists. So 12th century was when the third book of this was, and yeah, so it's very ancient teachings, but compiled into this book. And I've had this since I was young, and before I even really understood what enlightenment or Zen was. But I reread it, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Some of it's a bit like, what? I have to think about it, because when it's a riddle or a thought puzzle kind of thing, where you how what's his name, Yoda teaches in Star Wars. So it's kind of like that. It's like an old yogi or a wise elder giving you like a riddle, and you have to think about what it means. And yeah, so some of you still can learn from it. It's still a good book to read, but I'm not sure how available it is in different places, just because I got it so long ago. So the book that I'm reading, and I read this one in between really quickly because it's just a composition. I'm just going to smile. This is the one that I was going to tell you, that I was telling you guys about last week, but I forgot to bring it with me to the live. Hi, Mom. It is Ryan Singer's composition notebook, and Ryan Singer is a comedian, and I listen to his podcast called Me and Paranormal You. So he put this out, and it's all right. Actually, what I thought is that some people could actually use it as a journal, because there's so much blank space left in it and stuff. But it's basically his notes on and how he does his set list for when he's going to do stand-up comedy, and how he makes notes of what he's going to talk about for that set. And it's a really quick, interesting read. And like I said, because it's got lines in it and just like his scribbles and stuff, I wanted to support him as an artist, but it also gives you, I mean, you could just make it into your own book and just doodle or color or add to it if you wanted as well. So again, that's Ryan Singer. Oh, there's on the back. I can show you a picture of him. There you go. So I read that really quickly. And this one is the one that I'm reading right now, and it is so good. And I'm actually going to post this copy out to somebody that I think will really enjoy it. It's called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. And it is so good. That's a nickname that her brother had, Billy Fingers. That's why it's called that. How my bad boy brother proved to me there's life after death. So there's a woman, the woman who wrote the book, her drug addict brother passed away in a car accident. He was older. I think he might have been 62, 50, maybe in his 50s or 60s. I can't remember now. But but he started talking to her after he died. And the thing is that the way it's written, whether you believe in an afterlife or not, it's a really good read. It's a very interesting... What? Mom? So I'm sorry if I keep glitching or freezing. Just tell me if you have a question because you didn't understand something I said. So whether you believe in the afterlife or not, this is still a really, really good, interesting book, and you can learn some, life things. It's a quick read so far. Like it's not a complicated read, and it's in italics when it's her brother talking to her, and of course she goes through the stages of I have no idea if this is real or not, or this is me making it up, and but she's in a writing group, and then even her writing group says, well, why don't you just write it as a novel? But she didn't write it as a novel. She just wrote it as, conversations with her brother. But it is a really good read. Let's see what it says. A few weeks after his death, William Cohen, a.k.a. Billy Fingers, woke his sister Annie at dawn. I'm drifting weightlessly through these glorious stars and galaxies, and I feel a divine presence, a kind, loving why can't I read? Beneficent presence twinkling all around me. The Afterlife of Billy Fingers is an extraordinary example of extended after-death communication. It's one of the most powerful, liberating, and healing books on life after death I've ever read. Billy's ongoing after-death communications take his sister on an unprecedented journey into the bliss and wonder of the life beyond death. Billy's profound, detailed description of the mystical realms he traverses, the beings of light that await him, and the wisdom he receives take the reader beyond the near-death experience. Billy is indeed, as Dr. Raymond Moody points out in his foreword explaining the phenomena we've known about since ancient times, an afterworld walker. So, it's just a really good book. I really like it. So, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. If you have any, if you're curious about what the afterlife might be, I mean, obviously we're going to say that nobody knows what it's like to, where you go and how it is when you die until you die. But it depends what you believe in, if you believe in communicating with spirit and people who have passed away and things but it's also different for everybody. So there's some similarities, but different people get what they need. If you think about things as a simulation, where you can think about if you were designing a video game and you could create a world that you wanted to create. Well, things can be like that after you pass away, and also the beings above us and God, a higher power, source, whatever you want to call them, also can do that. So sometimes, which is why when someone passes away besides their loved ones, one person might see Jesus, another one might see... oh my gosh, my brain has just farted. What's his name? The Hindu god that's blue. My brain is... Anyways, somebody help me. People see different beings when they pass away, so you get what you need. Somebody who is really expecting to see their mom when they pass away, their mom might be there to greet them, but somebody who didn't have a good relationship with their parents, or don't have any family, or don't want to see their, say, ex-husband or such, then they might just be greeted by an old friend or even an animal. It's a really interesting read. I really recommend it. Like I said, it's a quick read, it's a good read, and as soon as I'm reading it, I can think of so many people that I think would benefit from reading this, but I know who I'm going to post this one to. And I think I might actually, I wish I had so much money, because I think I know someone else who I want to have a copy of this as well, so I might order a copy and send it to them too. So this is what I'm reading right now. I'm almost finished, and I should be finished tonight. I already did that, right? Okay. This one is what I'm reading next. And it is called, it says the international bestseller Heartberries, a memoir. It's by Therese Marie Mailhot. And it says, like New York Times says, a sledgehammer, a mixture of vulnerability and rage, sexual yearning and artistic ambition, swagger and self-mockery, a new model for the memoir. After growing up on an Indian reservation, Therese Marie Mailhot is given a notebook and begins to write her way out of trauma. The triumphant result is Heartberries, a memorial for Mailhot's mother, a social worker and activist with a thing for prisoners. A story of reconciliation with her father, an abusive but brilliant artist who was murdered under mysterious circumstances, and an elegy on how difficult it is to love while living with shame. So I heard her in an interview, and I really enjoyed the interview with her, so I got her memoir. So it is a true story. This isn't a little novel or anything, but it is, again, it's quite a thin book, so it probably won't take me long to read. So I'll let you guys know next week what this one is like. But again, this is Heartberries, and it's a memoir by Therese Marie Mailhot. So those are what I am reading. So hello to everybody who's watching. Sorry I've been talking so much just about books and everything. I'm going to have a sip of my drink and then let me know what you guys want to talk about. As I've said, some of you who have been watching already know that I'm got a little bit of something in my throat and I got a headache, and I'm just not, it's not COVID, but I'm just a bit under the weather today. So I have already done my workout and I'm in bed, just got blanket. Again, the pillows and blankets are actually from the couch, but they're more for the look. The color, but I wanted to look cozy and comfy because after my live I am just going to crash, and well, I'm in bed. I'm not going to sleep yet, but I'm going to read. Steve's out with his mate as normal on a Sunday. Hello Zoe. I don't think you tuned in last week, probably not, but you can always catch up on other ones if you care to. But this is my Rambling Hour live with Lisa, so it's basically like for my friends and family in Canada and anywhere who want to spend time with me, but I don't always have the time to devote to each person individually, and it's hard to, you know, like have coffee dates and stuff, like even if it's a video chat date. Although I do welcome those as well with my friends and family to have video chats separate. But I do this every Sunday so that anybody who wants to catch up with me, they know that I'm here at the same time every week, available for a catch-up or anything that they want to talk about. And I call it the Rambling Hour because I don't necessarily have topics that I talk about. Right. Well, I mean, I have things that I talk about regularly, like the books that I'm reading or that, but I never know what's going to come up or what we're going to talk about. So, that is, yeah. So I got out in the garden today. It was nice, actually. Again, because I wasn't feeling 100%, and I knew I had my live tonight, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with the day. When Steve went walking, when he went for his walk with the dog, he phoned me and said it's nicer than he thought it would be outside, and that I should get outside. So you don't have to tell me twice. I was like, okay, then I'll go outside. But yeah, so I was outside for a bit in the garden, and that was nice. But the weather's definitely changing, and I have to accept that even if I have a nice day outside, I need to move some plants closer to the greenhouse and stuff because the frosty days are going to come before we know it. Hello, Nadine, and everybody else who's watching. I know my sister Melody was baking today, so I'm not sure if she's watching while she's baking or not, but if she is, hello. And anybody else who is watching right now. Oh, right in the corner right here, you can see my baby photo that's on the wall. Yeah, so this week coming up, like I said, today is the 3rd. So tomorrow is 7 years since I left Canada for the first time to come to England to spend time with my Steve and see if the relationship would work. And that is the 4th. So we left Canada on the 4th. We arrived into the UK on the 5th. So Tuesday will be the 5th. That'll be our 7-year anniversary from arriving here the first time and setting up home. And yeah, 7 years already that we've been here. Aurora has a dentist appointment on Tuesday. Oh, so anyways, these tests that you do at home, the COVID tests, on Friday morning, Aurora did a test and it said positive, and then Erica said negative, and I told Aurora to do another one just in case, and it said positive, so she had 2 positives. So I phoned the school and said I'm keeping them home. The school said, good, let us know what the results are, because then you have to do the Samantha, what's the other one called? The PDF? No, not PDF. What's it called again? It may have an L in there, actually. LD. anyways, we had to do the other one. So I did it the same way that I did Erica's like a couple weeks ago. I phoned and PCR test. So now I have to do the PCR test. So I ordered one right away, and then we got it on Saturday morning. But I was thinking I had nothing to do Saturday morning. No reason that I had to get up early or anything. In the UK, there is post on Saturdays. So as I said about the one that I had to do for Erica, you have to get it. You have to do the test, put it into the thing, get it in the post before the last pickup for the day. So it can get to the lab, because if it's more than like whatever 24 hours, the test won't yield the right results and everything else. So it's like this thing. And once I woke up and was ready to do the test, actually now that I think about it, I don't even think it was here before 11:30, so I don't think I would have been able to do it. But anyways, 11:30 a.m. is the last post pickup on Saturdays, so I couldn't do it, but I can't do it on Sunday. There's no pickup. So now I didn't want the kids to miss school if they didn't have to, but I'll do it tomorrow morning and get it in the post right away. So whichever the earliest pickup is, that it can get to the labs, and then hopefully we'll get the results before Tuesday morning. And that way, if it is negative, then they can both go back to school. If it is positive, then obviously that would mean that Aurora would have COVID and we would have to isolate, but I would also order one for Erica then, in that case, just to test her. But we will see. So I have to do that in the morning, but I have the kids home. So I've had them home on Friday, and I have them home now as well. So Steve's let them stay up later to play Xbox, just because they're not going to school tomorrow anyways. So this COVID thing is, it's not the worst thing in the world. And I'd rather do the test and everything else. The stupid thing is that, which I have to do when I get off of my live, I have to look at the permission thing. I have to get permission in by tomorrow for Aurora, who again just turned 16, for her to have her vaccination at school. So Allison's had her first jab, and I don't, in a few weeks maybe she'll get her second jab. Thomas has had 2. So now Aurora at 16, she's the next one. So I'll give her permission. But yeah, it's kind of funny that she's got this test positive. But when I phoned the school, they said that there is some things going around, and I'm not sure if you can get a false positive on those tests because of other ailments. So we'll see. I think that's why you have to do the PCR one, just to confirm that it is COVID or it's not. We will see. Just really blessed and grateful to be vaccinated, double vaxxed, and same with Steve being double vaxxed, because people, I don't want to fight with people about being vaxxed or not, but my opinion is that vaccinations work. They're for a reason, and there's just too many people dying of this, and most of the people in the hospitals now fighting it and dying from it are people who are unvaccinated. And I just don't want to mess around with with taking a chance with my life. So I'm double vaccinated, and I am happy to be so. Yeah, so what's up, turkey? Yeah? I know. Yeah? No, don't worry. We're not going to eat you for Thanksgiving. Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up, though. Yes, and on October 10th, it'll be Thomas's 20th birthday. So, like I said, for Aurora's 16th birthday on Thursday, we had Chinese food. I don't think Thomas wants Chinese food for his, but I would eat it. And my birthday is coming up on the 21st, and I think the only thing I want for my birthday is a nice family photo with all 6 kids and me and Steve. I don't mind if me and Steve, we both know how to take photos, so I don't mind if we set it up and use a tripod and do the photos. But it's more like Steve is going to have to convince the kids to get together and maybe even smile for the photo. And yeah, I think that's what I want for my birthday. My birthday's on the 21st. Samantha says, I'm working on my NVQ for health and social care for work. Bored of it. You mean I'll take it. You'll take, the photo, right. What, are you working on that like right now? You're just taking a break from your studies? Or you mean in general, in life, that's what you're doing right now? Samantha, also that reminds me, I guess I could talk about that too, the haunted house. So I am, honestly, I swear to you, this week I'm going to take everything down from the loft for the haunted house. I've kind of done a draft poster to advertise for the haunted house, but it is a bit different being in the UK, and I'm not exactly sure how to go about advertising for the haunted house in Middlewich. I could put it on the Middlewich group, but and there might be places in Middlewich that I can post posters up, but it's not like yeah, it's not exactly like Canada. So we will see where I'm going to advertise and how I'm going to advertise. But yeah, we're going to be doing the haunted house at the end of the month. So Samantha says, "Yep, you're on my phone using my laptop to work on it." Oh well, I'm glad that I can be here while you're doing your homework. And yeah, so there's me and Samantha and Steve and Owen if he has time off work, or he's available to help with the haunted house. I'm thinking probably over 4 days. So the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. That's Thursday, Friday. No. Yeah. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I think Halloween is on a Sunday. And I was thinking 7 till 10, but don't quote me on that. I gotta go over it. But I'm really excited about doing the haunted house. So that is something that I'm going to be working on in the next few weeks as well. And it'll be my first haunted house in the UK, but not my first one overall. What else? So yes, Thomas's birthday, and then my birthday. Oh, and Canadian Thanksgiving. So I guess I should make some pumpkin pies. I finished putting out all the autumn decorations and decor, but I want to order more. There's not any shops here that really sell that kind of stuff, so I'll have to order from Amazon. But I also want to do, like I said, when I bring the Halloween stuff down, I can even start setting up stuff in the front garden. But the hard part is, I mean, I could set it up now and leave it like that, but I don't want anything to get wrecked. But it rains a lot here in every season, so it really depends on what I'm going to put outside to get rained on. But I can start setting up the caravan as well, although the solid oak doors are in the living room of the caravan, like the guest house right now, and that's where the haunted house is going to be, because there's 2 doors, so you can go in one and then come out the other. And as far as COVID and staying safe like that, we'll just people will go in as groups with only their group, so they will go through the house. And if we have anybody, the only way we'll have people inside the house scaring people and everything else is if there's enough distance that they can scare them from a distance. So nobody really has to be close to anybody except the people they came with. And then anything we do on the driveway, again, will be social distanced for the scare and whatever we do, and it'll be good for all ages. So what we did when I did it in Canada, we would just shout at the entrance. When the group would come, we would shout like basically what age range it was, so that if it was little tiny ones, we wouldn't have the same scare factor as if it was teenagers or adults. So it makes it more fun even for teenagers and adults. So it's not just a cheesy one for kids, and I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so like I said, my sister Melody is baking. I don't know if she's tuning in today or not. Yeah. Yeah, this orange sweater, I've never wore it before. It has these little buttons here. It's quite cute, but I'm not going to get rid of this after I am wearing like orange underneath too, because when I was getting ready and stuff, I was way too hot. I actually have the window open right now as well. But I like this sweater. I've never wore it before. But like I said, I'll keep it. I probably will only wear it around Halloween and autumn and stuff because of the color. I can't imagine when I would wear orange. I mean, orange is a happy color, but like I don't usually wear what we call sweaters in Canada, but you guys call jumpers here in the UK. I'm not sure where or when I would wear it, but I'm wearing it now and I like it and it looks good. And I think it looks good with this, like me being cozy in my bed. I know when my friend Jessica's going to be my guest one day, and we're going to do a slumber party. And I know I was waiting for the weather to get a little bit more chilly so we can be comfy in bed like this and do a slumber party one. So I'll talk to Jessica and we can do that like any time now, I guess, because it's more, it is chillier out than, summertime. So I will talk to Jessica and see when she wants to be my guest. And we'll let you guys know, and anybody who wants to join as a slumber party. And we'll wear our pajamas. So, I've really been enjoying the book that I'm reading. I really have. And I've still been journaling, still been working out. Me and Steve are really happy with our progress with the working out. It's just crazy to put on anything and look at myself in the mirror and be like, wow, I did that. And like I said, it's only been over a year of work. And yes, obviously it's hard work. We've worked out every day. But when you think about it, taking 1 year, being fat or overweight for many years, and then it taking just over 1 year to look and feel good. And I don't just look in the mirror and think, oh, I'm thinner. It's not about being thinner. I don't want to just be thin and small. That's one thing, to look, you know, thin and small in your clothes, but I want to be healthy and fit. And that's what makes me happy, is when I know I have the strength and the like, yeah, that I'm putting in the hard work and I have the strength in my muscles and all that. So I'm really happy with that, and I'm happy to say every week on here that I'm still working out. And I know my sister Melody has started hers again too, which makes me really happy. I just wanted to take it easy though and be careful, just because, remember, oh yeah, I got to tell you guys about that too. So remember a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago, she had the surgery for her tumor, and it was like carrying like a full-term baby around, right, her tumor. So she had an operation for that with the stomach surgery. I just, I know what it's like, because I had 3 C-sections, and, you know, like, it takes quite a while for this to heal here, so I want, if she wants to work out, that's fine. I just want her to not push it too hard. And like I said, even with us working out for over a year, it's slow and steady. It's just doing it, regularly, and, not giving up. But you don't have to like go to the extreme. You want to do a little bit for a long time, as opposed to doing a lot and then giving up. So what I want to say too is, some of my regular viewers are obviously my sister Melody, who we know that the tumor was benign. That was wonderful. But if you guys remember my friend Kathy McGooey as well, Kathy was on here, and we talked about the fact that around the same time that we were talking about Melody's tumor, and before we knew if it was benign or not, Kathy was going through cancer treatment. Kathy's from Ontario, and I met her through Feathers Retreats, the same way I met Steve. And she had, the other day, like maybe yesterday or the day before, she posted that she has got the all clear from her doctors. So that makes me really, really happy. I'll see if Kathy can be my guest one of these days too, so you guys can all meet her and see who she is. I hope everybody's staying safe, and I know that life is not totally back to normal yet, and in Canada numbers are high with COVID, and I just hope people are still taking things seriously, and that you know that, you know, COVID is real and it is killing people. And do you know, obviously I feel bad for people who are dying or getting sick from COVID, and I feel bad for the family members of people who have had people pass away from COVID, but I really feel bad for the frontline workers, especially those in healthcare, and I'm really frustrated with people who don't believe this is real, or the fact that most of the people in hospitals are non-vaxxed people, and they're breaking the healthcare workers. Like, these people are overworked. They were overworked before a pandemic. Now it's just insane. And then to overwork them, there's a breaking point for everybody. So they're either going to quit, or, you know, they can only take so much, and you can't just quickly replace, like, healthcare workers. There's not a quick replacement for them. It's a lot of training to be them, and it takes a certain type of person to want to do that type of work anyways. And now we're putting all this pressure on them, and some of it is just, it is unnecessary, and it's so frustrating. And my heart goes out to all the healthcare workers and other frontline workers who are not getting a break from this pandemic, who are just exhausted and pushed to their breaking point. That's just not fair. So I wish that people would just get their shit together and do their part to try and stay healthy and safe and away from people who might be... Sorry, you can hear the dog barking. Like I said, my window's open because I'm hot. And she comes around the house, and she goes by the side gates here, and she barks. And when she's let out in the morning before we're awake, one bark, and you can hear it through the window, and it wakes us up. It's so annoying. Especially if no one lets her in then, and she just stands there and barks, and she can see the train tracks, so she might be barking at a cat or a fox just walking on the train tracks, so she'll just bark and bark and bark. My mom just sent me a message and it came up on the top and just says that her tablet keeps freezing. So I hope I'm not glitching or freezing for anybody else. Let me know if I am. I did shut off my Wi-Fi and I am working on 4G, so hopefully there's no glitches or freezing right now. But if not, I mean, you guys can always watch this at a later time. If it's being weird right now, hopefully it's not weird in the recording. Yeah, so that's great news for Kathy. Congratulations, Kathy, for the all clear. I'm really happy about that. And Kathy's one of my favorite people, so I'm happy that she's had that good news. What else? Yeah, so like, okay, so yeah, I work out and I watch what I eat, and me and Steve have been doing a really good job. But can I just say, like last Sunday when we went out for the roast dinner carvery for Steve's uncle's birthday, and then on Thursday when we got the Chinese food, I did not count my calories. I ate as much as I wanted and I enjoyed it so much, and because I only get that Chinese food a couple times a year, so I just like shoved it as much as I could in my belly. I didn't actually overeat where I felt sick, but I super enjoyed it and had like more portions than one person's portion needs. But I loved it, and I ate it the next day, and I really enjoyed it. So life is a balance between the two, right? You maintain, especially if you make the life commitment where you're doing the workout every day and everything else, and if you're watching what you're eating pretty much every day. I mean, you can't make an excuse to eat loads and loads of junk and everything every day, or then it defeats the purpose of why you're working out, because it's not just about working out, it's about the calorie deficiency. Like you have to burn more calories than you're consuming. That's how you burn fat. So yeah, so but there's still gonna be those days when you're gonna eat like nice things. And even if it's like, because we had, like I said, we had the Steve's uncle's birthday on last Sunday, but then we had Aurora's birthday on Thursday, and then so even if there's cake, instead of having the size of a piece of cake that you usually would have, if you want some cake, then have like a quarter of a piece, so you've still had a little bit of cake. You don't have to feel as guilty, but it's not what you would have had, you know, cake and ice cream or cream on top, and you know, like in the past you might not have even thought about it. But it's not, life's not fun if you don't get to have the things that you enjoy as well. And I'm not going to feel bad about having a day of eating a bunch of Chinese food when every other day I'm eating really good and watching my portions and everything else. It makes those days actually even more enjoyable because of it's like a treat, right? So yeah, I've like, and that's why I'm talking about it so much. I know, see, we just take these things for granted. We, especially in North America, where there's so much food, we have such huge portions, and we just eat for the sake of eating and boredom and because we can. Whereas when you start eating mindfully or watching your portion sizes, you really start to appreciate the flavors and what you're eating and what you're choosing for your meals and everything else. And now one of the things I'm grateful for is that Chinese meal, and I'm talking about it like it's the best thing in the world because it really was. It tasted so good. I look forward to it the few times we have it in a year, and it tasted better and meant even more because I don't let myself have that all the time. It's just like when Steve's dad was here a couple of weeks ago, we had fish and chips. And living in England, I mean, well, anywhere you really could have fish and chips every day. But there's a place here in Middlewich that's like the best fish and chips that I've had in the UK. And it's right here in our backyard, so I could have it often. But because Steve's dad likes his pudding and chips from there when he comes up, we only allow ourselves to have it the few times that we see his dad in a year. So, again, it's something to look forward to, and I enjoy it a lot when that happens. But it's a treat. You know, I'm not getting it every weekend. I've really been missing some of my friends, and I've tried to reach out to some of them, and some of them have reached out to me, and I've said that I'm available for video chatting, so they can let me know when they have time to talk. But yeah, but I haven't really got to connect with some of the people that I would like to connect with, and I'm kind of sad about that. It's hard when I guess that's how they feel too, when they're making the effort and I wasn't giving back, and now when I'm trying to connect with them, and I know they love me, but they're not like, you know, having time to video chat or, I mean, even phone me. I hate talking on the phone, but I usually have my headphones with me, so if I can still be doing stuff with my hands, then I don't mind talking on the phone as much. It's just that it's hard for me to just like when you had to hold the phone, and then especially if it stayed in one place before you had cordless phones and stuff. I'm a doer, so I need to be doing. It's hard for me to just sit there and talk on the phone. How is everyone and what is up? Like I said, pumpkin pies I need to make. I need to make some banana bread because I have so many frozen bananas. For dinner tonight, it was chicken, what do you call it? Chicken breast. I know the kids can get so sick of chicken because I always try to have plain chicken breast cooked so that I can have that as my protein if I need to. Ham, we have sliced ham, like what we call lunch meat in Canada, or just like, yeah, just sliced ham. Or ham trimmings and stuff in the fridge, and I try to have cooked chicken breast ready for, even if I just go and get a bit of chicken with some hot sauce on it or something for my protein. But yeah, so Steve had grilled chicken breast on wholemeal buns with lettuce and tomato and a yogurt mint sauce, and that's what he had for supper, and I just had chicken with hot sauce. So I know I can have some carbs, but I just haven't ate any yet, so I might have some after. But like I said, I'm not feeling 100% today, so the chicken was good. I could eat chicken and hot sauce. Like I love Frank's hot sauce, and the best thing is it's zero carbs and zero protein, so it fits into my numbers wonderfully. It's basically just hot peppers and vinegar, white vinegar. So it's, yeah, I could put that. Actually, it's funny because it's clear right now, right here. Well, you can see a plug there from where I charge the phones and stuff. But usually I have like the 3 things that I use if I do bring food up here. I have a little Frank's hot sauce. I have chili flakes. Oh, you can't see in the bright light, but you can tell that they are chili flakes. And black pepper. So yeah, they actually sit behind this lamp here, and but I moved them out of the way for, you know, so it looked better on here. But I have those here so I don't have to get it, like bring it up from downstairs and then have it up here, and then if I'm down, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, it's funny because I can add those things to my food if I bring stuff up here. One of the reasons I eat upstairs is because we have our TV in here, and if me and Steve, if we eat dinner late or we're gonna watch TV together, I prefer to eat and watch TV at the same time, as opposed to eating downstairs and then coming up. Like, we can get started on our programs right away because I try to get in some programs with him before we go to bed. Last night it was Billions, but we were watching this one called Manhunt, and it was about the Night Stalker. Is a serial rapist in London that was active for 17 years, and then they caught him with a huge sting. So we're watching that last week, and then yeah, there's some other shows that we just watch weekly, but yeah. Taskmaster is a really good show that we watch, and there's a new season right now. So, what else? What's new with you guys? What do you guys want to talk about? It is autumn. I can't believe it's October already. Halloween is going to come so quickly, so we need to get our butts in gear for the haunted house and my birthday. And I don't know why somebody just clicked a sad face. Oh, probably because of the Manhunt, the Night Stalker. Yeah, it's, well, actually the worst part about that story is that the Night Stalker was not just a serial rapist, but he was actually targeting elderly people, mostly ladies. So like, I think I can't remember, his youngest victim might have been 62 or something, but his oldest was like 93, and he didn't rape all of them, but he did interfere with a lot of them, and just like, it's really sad and disgusting. And I'm glad that he was finally caught. And because it's one thing to molest or rape anyone, but like if I had to get raped in my lifetime, I imagine that I would hate it at any time. But when you're old, you're just more fragile, and yeah, I just can't imagine it. I can't. It just breaks my heart. So I'm glad he got caught. It's a sad, sick story. But what else? What else? I told you guys what's coming up this week. Builder's going to be here on Saturday to start working on the bathroom downstairs. And yeah, so if today's the 3rd and 7 days, so next Sunday is Thomas's birthday. So I guess there's nothing this week specifically. Sup Lisa, just saying hey, love the pic of you and the kids showing orange. I don't know if the UK experiences similar genocide, but glad you still keep in touch with home. So what Mike's talking about is Orange Shirt Day, which was on September 30th, which is Aurora's birthday as well, but it has to do with the residential schools in Canada and maybe America as well, where a lot of First Nations were taken away from their homes. The kids were forced forcingly, but I don't know how, I can't speak right now. Like they were taken away from from their family and put into residential schools, and they tried to teach the native out of them, like the First Nations out of them. They tried to make them into white, and they weren't allowed to practice their culture. They weren't allowed to do any of that and their beliefs. But not only that, a lot of them were abused and even murdered. And there's been quite a few mass graves across Canada that have been found now, with many children lost. And this isn't something that is like way in the past. This is like, there's still survivors like living now that went to these residential schools. And it is just appalling. I mean, Canada is a great country. It's got, you know, lots of great things about it, but it's not without its share of nightmares. And Mike, for as far as genocide and stuff, like there has been different things here with like the what's it called again? The Irish, you know, oh, my brain. It's like a militia, the Irish militia. I can't remember what it's called, but there's been, you know, and there was the bombings and that stuff. So they've had some of that, but we got to remember that in the UK, like in England, it's Britain. Like they are, sad to say, they are one of the countries that invaded a lot of places in the world and caused a lot of this. Yeah, the IRA, Irish Republic Army. Is that what it's called? Irish Republic. And so yeah, and there is no like First Nations type Aboriginal cultures here in England. Well, because it's the, what is it, the nomads? Like it's the white people. They are the first people from over here. So I learned something about that, but now I've forgotten. Like this, whereas Scottish and Irish people were originally from, and yeah, Steve told, but I can't remember. So no, but like you said, me and the girls are Canadian, and even if we move here, we can't forget about where we come from and what that represents. Not only that, not only do I have a lot of First Nations friends, I have a lot of First Nations families. My ancestral family, like on the McDermott side, on my dad's side, have been in Canada since after the potato famine in Ireland. So like it's like many generations in Canada. I think eight generations in Canada. So we've been there for a long time. So yeah, and obviously there's going to be a lot of First Nations in our family. But my mom got her DNA done, and there doesn't seem to be any in our bloodline. But not on my mom's side, anyways. My sister Tina got hers done as well, so we don't have it in my specific family. But I do have first cousins and such that are First Nations. Like I said, not only that, there's been friends and people my whole life that I've been close to and in my life, and that is part of my heritage as well. And I've always admired the great things about the First Nations cultures and everything else, and I just think it's so... Do you know, I was thinking about this, if you go back to my spiritual beliefs, and if we're here to learn lessons, it's so appalling that some of the best cultures in the world, the most ancient cultures in the world, the ones that could have the most to teach us, that we would treat them so heinously. But at the same time, if you think about the fact that they are some of the most ancient cultures, if they are some of the most enlightened beings, then they may have come down to Earth School knowing that they would be treated like shit, which doesn't excuse it, but it's a very big sacrifice on their part to say, okay, I'm going to go play this role in Earth School so that people can learn about this and this and this by you know, because not only are they getting treated like shit, which is not okay, but wherever there's trauma and tragedy, there's the good things that come out of it. I'm not saying that you cause it for good things, but you know, like even 9/11, you could look at the horrendous things that happened, but instead of that, why don't we focus on all the happy stories that came of the rescues, the people working together, the you know, stuff like that. So I don't approve of any of the shit that's happened to Aboriginals, First Nations, or anything like that anywhere around the world. But now, instead of focusing on the bad stuff, not saying we're not gonna ignore that or forget it. We need to learn from it and move forward. But I'm really happy to have seen how many people were wearing orange shirts, and that it's a national holiday now in Canada as well, and that it's being taken seriously. When I see so many people participating and moving forward, it's about freaking time. Because maybe you weren't involved, and maybe you can say your ancestors weren't involved, but there were people involved in holding these people down, and you can't say that you're not racist. Oh, I'm not racist, and I treat everybody the same, yet you're not doing anything to bring these people back up to the level that white people are at. You know, it's the white privilege, and it's so sad that I was so blind to it, as a lot of people were, that I didn't even realize. I went to school with so many different nationalities, and Mike, who is commenting on here, we went to school together in primary and stuff, and I went to school with so many different nationalities, so many people from all around the world, and I had no idea that they might be experiencing a shitty life because of where they came from. Because when we were in school as a family, like in our groups and stuff, I mean, there was still people who we didn't like and who we, you know, made fun of and stuff like kids do, which isn't okay, but it was never based on their race. It was based on whatever. But it never dawned on me that some of these people who I was friends with, who were invited to my house, who I treated like them all the same, that they could be going somewhere else and being treated different because of the way that they were, or the color of their skin, or where their ancestors came from, or anything. And I just think it's about time that we step up, especially white people. And like I said, it's not that you have to apologize for all white people, and if you didn't do anything specifically, fine, but if you're not going to do anything to make the problem better, then you are part of the problem now, because you're aware of the problem. So we need to stand together and bring people up to the same level. That goes for Aboriginals, First Nations, and then Black Lives Matter, Black people, and we can look at how they've been suppressed as well. And if you really believe all lives matter, then you're going to do what you can to make sure that everybody is treated fairly and equally, and helping those around you to get the recognition for the shit that they've gone through at the hands of other people, and bring them up. So I'm really, really happy to see how many people wore orange on September 30th. And not just that, but like making sure that that this stuff is in the you know, in front and center until it's taken care of, and that we're not forgetting this. We're walking together. We're keeping these things alive, because it's not going to go away overnight, and it's not going to be better overnight, and we need to keep fighting forward for these people and for all of us together to be treated fairly. And some people, you don't know their story. You don't know what nationality their ancestors are. You can't always tell what nationality they are when you look at them. My friend Meg, who was my guest on here before, we don't look alike, like it's not like we're twins, but she's blonde hair, you know, we're very similar in a lot of ways. You would not know by looking at her, because she's got pale skin and blonde hair, you would not know that her dad is black, like black. He's there, and her mom's from Wales, so she's half black, half white. But you would see her and not know. But that's my point, is that some people might look a certain way, but some people you can't tell, and that's the point. It doesn't matter what our ancestral thing is for the way you treat someone. It's cool and interesting to know someone's ancestral DNA and that kind of stuff for cultural reasons, or to learn about people, because all cultures have something to offer and are really, really great. But you can't treat somebody differently on the way that they look, because you have no idea what their genetic makeup is. Do you know that I realize this now, that their whole lives, the girls, my girls, the 3 girls that are biologically mine, for their whole lives, I've been putting Caucasian on forms, that they're Caucasian. Technically, they're mixed race. And I don't know how much of something you need to have in you to be mixed race, like what percentage or whatever. But if you look at the girls, and you know what people from India look like, they might not have dark skin, but they're part Indian, like from India, and I can see the features in them definitely, and people from India will probably be able to see the features in the 3 girls way more than other people. But I just realized that the whole time I've been putting that they're Caucasian, but really they're mixed race. And that's why Allison on her Instagram is like, or no, maybe it's on her Snapchat or something, it's called Asian Potato, because they are. But you can't tell by looking at somebody all the time what they are. And yeah, so and Mike says, I feel ya, my fam has indigenous roots, also have a nephew who is indigenous. I gotcha. Anywho, toodaloo, keep on Lisaing on. Thanks, Mike. I know you said that you toodaloo, so you're not on anymore, but yeah, I didn't know. See, that's the point too. I thought he was Caucasian. I didn't realize he had any indigenous in him. And I too have a nephew who is part indigenous, so, which is my sister Melody's son, Brock. Michelle says, according to our federal government, you can claim indigenous if you're a quarter blood. Yeah, no, I didn't mean specifically, thank you for letting me know that too, Michelle, but I didn't just mean specifically indigenous. I meant like what qualifies as mixed race. And like my ancestor, I mean, I'm Canadian, but my ancestral heritage is, and Michelle, yours might be the same depending on what your mom's side is, but mine's Irish, French, and Scottish. Well, those, I mean, France is in Europe, and then Ireland and Scotland are in the UK, which is still European. So I guess I'm European, but then when mixed race, like what makes a race? Is it a continent? Is it a country? Is it, you know what I mean? And then how much, so the girls actually only have like, so their biological dad, his mom, Diane, is half Indian. So if Michael has a quarter, then the girls have an eighth, which isn't a lot, but just like I think I look more Irish. Well, I don't even know what I look, if I look more Irish, French, or Scottish. I don't know. I look Caucasian, right? European. But my sister Tina looks more Irish than, you know, Irish, Scottish than French. I don't know. You know what I mean? Whereas my mom is darker, she looks more French. But that's my point. The girls, the Indian, whether it's only an eighth in them, it has definitely been a strong genetic feature for them. So, and yet it's only 1/8. So technically, I don't know. I mean, and then also, if I go by what the girls really are, with my Irish, French, and Scottish, then on Michael's side, there's Swedish, Dutch, Polish, which again, Swedish, Dutch, and Polish. Okay, so that's still European, and then the Indian. But yeah, I don't know. So Michelle says, my grandfather Everett had Skmi Cree. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Skmi Cree. But other than that, I'm same Irish, Scottish, French. Yeah, so you have a bit of indigenous, but not enough to qualify it. That's what you mean? It's Cree in his bloodline. Yeah, and the weird thing is, I thought my mom would have had some type of First Nations in her bloodline, but she doesn't. And it's weird that I say that because obviously, if my mom had it, then I would assume that it would go on to some of us kids. But she did her DNA, and she doesn't. The funny thing is that the darkness comes from really small portions, but some of it is from the Mediterranean that she has, and I think she has. I can't remember now. I know I told you guys last year when she did the DNA test, and it wasn't the West Indies, might have been, but it was something else that was surprising, or was it? It was something Mediterranean, like something that we were like, what? Like we wouldn't even have guessed, but that's just how the DNA tests are, because like we're especially now, we're such a mixed culture all over the world that you. I mean, actually, like, you think, I keep saying that I'm married to an Englishman, and I technically am married to an Englishman, but his grandparents, like his dad's parents, his dad's parents? Yeah, Furlong. Silly me. The other, his mom's maiden name was White. So, yeah, the Furlongs. Like, his grandparents are from Ireland. Like, so they weren't even born in England. So he's only English ancestrally on one side of his family. So it's so complicated, and that's the point, is frickin' hell, just love each other for being human. And if someone's an asshole, then they're an asshole, but it has nothing to do with the color of their skin or what their DNA says about their where their ancestors come from. Anyways, I guess I've been rambling for over an hour now, because you give me a topic and then I can ramble. This is when I lose, when I have nothing to talk about or I have nothing to ramble about. So I guess I'm still wearing orange. It's for autumn, but yeah, like I said, it's great to participate in things like Orange Shirt Day, and I'm glad that I saw a post about it to be reminded about it. Now I have it on my calendar. I won't forget, but yes, Michelle, I did talk about my haunted house already, but I am really excited about it, and I will give more details over the next coming weeks, but I'll have all my my Halloween stuff out this week, and then the biggest thing that I need to do soon is just get up posters made and start advertising for it so that people will come out to it, and every year it'll get bigger, so it might not be the biggest turnout this year just because of COVID and it being our first year, and the fact that in England they're not as big into Halloween as other places. But at the same time, because they're not as big into Halloween, there's not lots of things to do. That gives more people something to do with their kids. And you know, I mean, I don't know, in the future years, I don't know. I have to talk to Steve, but maybe even. Because the decorations will be out anyways, even if we're not doing the haunted house, people might still come and look at it with little kids during the day on, like, the weekend, that Saturday and Sunday. So maybe I'll make sure that things look good, even if the haunted house isn't open, you know, open hours, that little tiny ones, you know, just something to do during the day on Halloween, especially because it's on a weekend. Anywho, yes, I am very excited about the haunted house, and I am very looking forward to just crashing right now and finishing my book. So let me know if there's anything you guys want to talk about next week, and maybe I'll be in the kitchen next week. Maybe I'll have a guest. I have no idea. You guys know as much as I do, but I really do love having these, and I'm glad that you guys tune in, whether it's live or later. Although I would prefer you guys tune in live, because it makes it more interesting when, like Michelle and other people tonight, are actively talking to me. Then it gives me things to talk about, and that's also the point, is like having coffee with a friend. I want to hear from you and be interactive. So Grand Prairie did a drive-by Halloween for COVID last year. Oh yeah, that's awesome. And with COVID, it would be a good year to do trunk or treats, which I have done when I was in Canada. And it's basically, again, it's for daytime. You can do it in the daytime, and it's good for little ones, like really little ones, where you don't want them out at night. Or, so you have a parking lot, and all the cars are parked there, and you open the boots, the trunks, and you decorate your trunk, and then each car, like, you just stand at your car and you give out candy, or the candy's in the trunk, and they can grab their own or whatever, and it's just a way to have a cute thing. So it's called trunk or treat. It wouldn't really work here with the name, with the boot or treat, but the concept could still work, just not the name as much. So love you, Mom. And it was really cool to see all the innovative things last year for Halloween, with all the shoots and different things that people did to social distance with COVID for Halloween. So we'll see what people's creative ideas are this year. And I know that Steve is really excited about the haunted house too. He's kind of a bear, where he can be social, he is a friendly guy and everything else, but his home is his cave. And so it's even the fact that giving out our address and telling people to come to our house and come through our garden, our yard, is probably not his favorite thing to do. And yet he keeps giving me all these ideas and showing me all these cool like props and everything for Halloween and haunted houses. So I know that he is excited about it as well. So I look forward to doing this. And I know that Samantha is a hardworking, very, what's the word? Creative, like when she did the Santa's grotto and stuff. So I know she has the same type of imagination as me. Like she can come up with some really great ideas and all this stuff. And I know that I can rely on her, and that it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be an amazing haunted house. So yeah, I will let you guys know. I will keep you updated in the next few weeks what's going on with the haunted house. And maybe even when some of the stuff is set up, I might do my live with some of the props and everything. I don't know. We'll see. So take care. We'll see you next week. And next week is season 4, episode 12. So it'll be my last episode for season 4. But it's also Thomas's birthday, so we'll see what's happening. But I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who my guests will be, but we will see. So from me in Turkey, we will see you. And I'll have to look up when Canadian Thanksgiving is, because it's usually around then too. So have a great Sunday. Have a great week, and we will see you next week. Love you guys. Bye.